All right, so it's a lovely good evening and welcome to Ubuntu channel. Now, this is Nsaka, and it's so lovely to see you that you have joined us on this particular broadcast on a lovely Thursday like this one. Now, remember that we are in the month of November, thereby meaning that once a Tangena Muri in the month, a minute, festive season. So we start from now saying that Happy Christmas, right, or Merry New Year as however that you want to put it through. I am your host, Lance Sani Banda, and this evening I am co-hosting with Himba. Himba, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Lance, and thank you so much. And good evening, viewers. How have you been, Lance?
Well, I've been all right, thank you. How have you been?
Not bad. I can't complain. Have you budgeted for a tag for Christmas?
Well, definitely we thank the Lord. And speaking about Christmas, at least apanatushitako kasakadelic kamo. So as Christmas comes, we'll have the whole, psychedelic and everything around the house.
You have to prepare in advance, not kulindi like last minute. Christmas, it's not an accident. We all know that it's coming. So nikuplana bwino Lance hapa, not kuenda kumwa tujirijiri.
Speaking about Nkanyo Kumwa Tujirijiri, to you, our lovely viewer, remember that this week also we are doing a reloaded of your favorite topic that we discussed right here on Ubuntu Channel's Nsaka program. Last time we discussed marriage and alcohol. So since Nkanya Tujirijiri akambiwapo, how do you treat your husband or your spouse ngati babwera kunyumba nimokolewa okapena after mwakwatirana ndepe bamba kulangiza tumisango tokumwa moba nawo kumwa moba noti moba uja wakati olemekezeka but moba wamene sufunika. This evening on the program we of course welcome back our renowned I would say evangelist, our renowned evangelist, that is evangelist Shaabula, who we started the show together with right here, speaking about giving great advice as well as talking about marriage and relationships right here. Evangelist Shaabula is back as he is our guest this evening. Not forgetting another grand comeback also comes through from Uncle J. Uncle J as well is back. So he is our guest as well this evening to help us discuss the reloaded of marriage and alcohol. And not forgetting you, our viewers, we are so happy that you are back again this week watching and supporting Ubuntu family. If you are new, continue joining the Ubuntu family or join us on the Ubuntu family by making sure that you are a part of each and every broadcast that we bring to you each and every day. Evangelist Shaabula, good evening and welcome back. Welcome to the broadcast. Say hi to the people. Evangelist here. Well, we seem to be having some connectivity challenges right there with Evangelist. Let's get through to Uncle J. Uncle J, good evening. Okay. Himba, we seem to be still having connectivity challenges with both our analysts or both our panel for this particular evening. Let's just maybe get to do a recount of what we spoke about the last time that we discussed the issue of marriage and alcohol, or how to deal with a drunk spouse in a marriage. Himba.
Lance, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, thank you so much. It's like I'm also having an issue with my internet here, but hopefully you're hearing me.
Yes, I am.
No, thank you so much. Well, Lance, today, as Lance has said, we are just reloading and we've got matured mind to talk about issues of alcohol and marriage. So today, as you've already been informed, we are going to have our ever and how can I describe Evangelist Shaabula? As you said, Lance, how do we describe him?
Well, we describe him as, the all-knowing, the most generous, and a man who is full of wisdom, as well as a man who is full of information, because he has been practicing marriage counseling for over 30 years. So he is more than experienced and qualified to deal with this.
Okay, thank you so much, Lance. Lelo natwatana babwela abafyash. Son, no someone abafyash na babwela. If you can remember very well, we discussed this topic about 2 weeks ago, and it's the topic we had. So we just wanted at least the matured mind to come and wrap it up. And we thank God that Evangelist Shaabula and Uncle Jay, they're back in the studio, as we have missed them, and I'm sure you viewers, you missed them. And we just encourage you to join us in the studio through, we have Evangelist, his back, Lance. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Also, please, before I get to bring in Evangelist, to you, our viewers, this program is not suitable for viewers younger than 18. So, ngati mulina bana okapena mwina bana bangono bamene mutamba nabo bauze na listi bakuchiteni kon excuse okapena baende bagone chifukwa iyi program is not a program for the young kids. This is a program that is tailor-made for adults. This is a program that is tailor-made kuli baja bantu bamene bali mu chikwati okapena bali ready kungera mu chikwati. Evangelist Shaabula, good evening and welcome back. Please greet the people as well as mark your coming back. We really missed you.
Thank you so much, CJ, Himba, Lawrence, and the whole team. You are too many, too numerous to be mentioned, to be itemized. I'm so grateful that
Well, internet seems to be a challenge for Evangelist Shaabula. But also, let me take this time to recognize the presence of Lawrence. Lawrence, good evening and welcome to the program. Lawrence? Okay. Well, we seem to be having some connectivity challenges right there. But please be rest assured. Hi, Lawrence. Good evening. How are you?
I'm all right. And how are you?
Well, I am doing fine. Thank you. Good to have you on the program this evening.
Thank you so much, Lance, and thank you for hosting me. I'm very much excited to be here. And greetings to the panelists that are also here. That's Uncle Jay and the evangelist in the background, obviously, and also Madam Himba. Good evening.
All right. Thank you so much, Lawrence. As also, let me take this time to welcome Uncle Jay to the program. After a long time, good to have you back, Uncle Jay. Of course, marking your comeback, as well as please say hi to the viewers, as not only Ubuntu missed you, but everybody else missed you and they missed your wisdom.
Thank you so much, everyone watching and everyone that is participating tonight with us. I'm so grateful to be back. It's great, actually. It feels so great to be back and to be welcomed.
All right, now to you,
it feels so nice to know that people missed you.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Also, just an encouragement to you, our dear viewer. Remember that we have shared with you the studio link. If you would love to come through into the studio and share your experience or share what you know, come through into the studio, join us. But remember that as you join us into the studio, switch on your camera, switch on your mic so that we can best interact, so that at least tinkareko ona na pamene tikambisana okapena tikambisane bwino bwino. Evangelist Shaabula, welcome back. Good evening to you.
Good evening, CJ, and good evening, everyone, the whole Ubuntu family. I greet you in the name of the Lord, and I also want to appreciate those that missed me just as much as I missed them. So thank the Lord that I'm here. I was out on tour of duty serving this great nation of Zambia. Thank you so much. Topic that we have today, marriage and alcohol. we are looking at two things. We are looking at marriage and we are looking at alcohol. When we talk of alcohol, we are talking about the effects of alcohol on the family, on the marriage, on the individual who consumes it, how they behave, what the family goes through. So that's what we are looking at. So because of time, I'll try by all means to summarize. First of all, according to the Marriage Act of Zambia, Cap 50 of the laws of Zambia, marriage is defined as the coming together of two people, husband and wife. That is male and female, not male, male, or female, female. I'm talking about the Constitution. And that is to the exclusion of all others. That is what a marriage is. And these people, they have to live into that arrangement permanently. There's no divorce. There's no separation. These people, they've come together, and in that arrangement, if God blesses them, then they'll have children. If they do not have, if they are not blessed with the children, they are still a husband and wife, and it is still a family, a blessed family. Where there are children or there are no children, it is still a blessed family. Now, this family, their happiness, their joy depends on the other person. It is not only for one person who should do certain things to be happy. No, they are interdependent, intertwined. So what the behavior of the other person will affect the other person or other persons or the community because of one individual. Now, the government and God protects the marriage arrangement. So that is why there are even rules which says, you cannot go after somebody's wife or somebody's husband, or you cannot insult somebody who is married or whatever it is, any family. You cannot do that. All these are rules that protect a family. Now, we want to look at the marriage, the alcohol, thing that comes into the marriage. First of all, we all know what alcohol has done to families. There is no family that has become better as a result of one of them or both of them drinking or taking alcohol. When I talk of alcohol, I'm talking about different types of beers which have got ethanol in them, which can intoxicate, benumb the mind, and then cause a person to behave, differently, or alter the behavior of an individual. That is what alcohol is. So the issue here is alcohol. In the first place, I want to give you a short history. In the Bible and in our culture as Africans, and also the Europeans, alcohol was used for certain occasions in the society. It was used during the time of festivals, or like when people are celebrating, people were allowed to take alcohol. And it was a certain age of people. Mostly, it was elderly people, those that had passed probably the age of marriage. Those were the people who were allowed to take alcohol. So the other issue is that, sometimes alcohol was taken after people had harvested their fields. They are now celebrating. They've got enough food and they are relaxing. Then they would take alcohol. The other time is when they've come from war. They've vanquished their enemies. They've conquered them. They've come back as victors. So they would take alcohol and take it and drink it so that they can celebrate. The other time is for those that are elderly, who are lonely. There's nobody to talk to them. So they are ever alone. So these people are also given alcohol so that, the alcohol could warm them and make them feel good and part of what is happening, and that they may probably temporarily ignore some of their problems. So alcohol had a meaning, it had a purpose for such. As I said, the other one was celebrations, maybe at a wedding. And at the wedding, it will also be elderly people that would take it and celebrate because somebody or two people have come together in holy matrimony. So, unlike now, when alcohol is sold generally for the purpose of raising money for the institution or for individuals so that maybe they can send their children to school, or they just live a life of selling beers as a business. And because of this, it has become too open that there's no control. Any age of human beings can go and drink. And because of this, that's why there's now excessive beer drinking. People are consuming alcohol to levels that you cannot imagine. And as a result of this, families have been affected as a result of taking alcohol. Now, there are 7 serious points that I would want to bring out which affect a family when they take beer. Number 1, when you take beer, what will be affected is your immune system. Alcohol affects the immune system. What am I talking about? The germs that fight the body will not be fought. The body loses out the power to fight germs because the immune system is down. The viruses and other illnesses in your body will become weak as a result of, the body will become weak to the point whereby it cannot fight the germs and the viruses and any other illnesses in the body, because alcohol slows the immune system. And this is a serious matter which requires attention by all. We must understand that heavy drinking may be more likely to succumb to illnesses such as tuberculosis, pneumonia, and increased risk of numerous forms of cancer. All these, they come as a result of beer drinking. The other one is the reproductive system. The second problem is the reproductive system. Now, one common side effect of alcohol abuse is erectile dysfunction, meaning that a man may not be able to function properly in the bedroom or in the bed or with his wife because of alcohol consumption. Many of you agree with me. 2 days ago, the Speaker of the National Assembly of Uganda, Anita Aniti, said openly and said, men that take alcohol, most of them do not function properly in the bed or during whatever it is. So this is what men should know. When you take beer will affect your erection. You will not be able to perform properly. That the hormonal production also may be inhibited, causing infertility. So that is what also happens. And in women, you find that your menstrual period will be affected. Even when you are still a young person, it gets affected, and also to the levels of even getting to you become infertile. You are not able to produce children because of beer drinking. The third point is the circulatory system. Now, the risk of even higher for females. The heart problem may include the poisoning of the heart muscle cells, irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, stroke, or heart attack. All these come from alcohol. Alcohol will affect you as an individual. The other one is the digestive system. This is where serious damage can quickly occur. Alcohol makes it difficult for your intestines to control bacteria and absorb nutrients that can lead to malnutrition. So in other words, even digestion itself will be affected. Food will not be properly digested. As a result, the way sometimes you find that you took it in a certain color and it will come out with the same color because it has been affected. So you find that the alcohol also will cause, salivary gland damage. Your glands here will be damaged. The gum disease, you find that your gums will be ready, and the toothache, your teeth will always be will get rotten as a result of that. If you go deeper, as a result of alcohol, your esophagus will suffer. You have wounds, what you call ulcers, as a result of alcohol. Then acidity, reflux, and heartburn. Is as a result of alcohol. Stomach ulcers, sores in the stomach, is as a result of alcohol. Gastritis is caused by alcohol. Internal bleeding, instead of blood coming out, you start bleeding inside your intestines. This is actually serious. Then hemorrhoids. These hemorrhoids are sores, that you have anus. The whole anus there is affected with all those things because of beer. It does not pay you. You don't get anything out of that. Why should you go that far? So those are some of the causes. Now the other one is central nervous system. What am I talking about when I talk of the central nervous system? Himba, I'm talking about the wires that God put from your head, from the head, through the spinal cord, up to the anus here. All this is the central nervous system. That's why you find my wires like those from Zesco or those from Zamtel. Those are the connections that are connected in the body, which causes you to think, to work, to have children, to tend to do all sorts of things. Now, when you take beer or alcohol, that alcohol changes your behavior. First, it changes your behavior. It begins to inhibit your speech. You can't speak properly because your whole system is benumbed. The veins are not able to connect. There's no coordination. Then which causes then this now, because of that inhibits, it now causes slide speech. Slide speech nachogera kumonze nienda kukasama it's as a result of beer. Because there's no coordination, things have gone wrong. It also affects impulse control. Impulse control, once you've short temper, the father comes at home, finds the wife seated. You are not welcoming me. The man begins to beat the wife at the point of killing her, just because the man has lost control. And the ability to make memories. You can't remember anything when you are drunk. Your memory is shattered. It is kaput. You are zero because you've taken beer. Now, is that worthwhile? Then loading to black out, leading to blackout. So what it is here is that, sometimes you find that even the vision, the eyesight is affected. If you are driving, you will drive from left to right, right to left, and burn cars, kill people, destroy your property and your own life, just because you wanywa wakuta na unwa. Is that profitable? I don't think so. Then numbness, you can't You can't lift anything because your hands are numb, the body is numb. Then weakness and temporal paralysis. Temporal paralysis is that, you know, you can't, even the legs, sometimes you can't lift it. You go to bed, it is time for you to sleep with your wife, you can't perform. You start weeing in the bed. You start, you know, shitting and pooping in the bed. An elderly person, and now instead of your children or your babies pooping and weeing, it is now the father or the mother. Terrible. Then long-term use can actually shrink the frontal lobes of the brain. You know, when you take a lot of it, the frontal lobes of the brain there, memory will be shattered. You can't remember anything, CJ, just because you've taken too much beer. Then heavy drinking can lead to dependence and may have severe, you know, withdrawal effects. When the beer gets into your body so much, you find that you'll be shaking all the time. You cannot wake until you take another drink. When you get to those levels, then you become useless. Useless citizen, useless father, useless husband, useless worker. So even accidents at work, they increase as a result of beer. You find that if you're working on the machine, that machine, instead of pushing, you start pulling. And then to come to you and hammer you and kill you. You lose your fingers, you lose your leg, you lose your hand. So these are some of the problems. And then from there, the excretory system. You know, this system is responsible for removing waste products. In kutuende toilet, you must have a proper system that will work so that you are able to open your bowels. You need to remove your waste products properly, such as alcohol from the body. All this must be wasted, must be removed. Excessive alcohol consumption can cause serious problems, such as, you know, pancreas problems. You lose normal insulin production. You know, insulin. When insulin is lost, you are in troubles. And then you create toxic substances that can lead to its destruction. And the abundance of alcohol, Himba, can harm the liver. And then from there, you can have what is called cirrhosis. You know, cirrhosis, you know, those that it can break down, you know, because of this, the liver is not able to break down those, whatever it is. Then the harmful substances in the body will remain there. This can lead to hepatitis, then jaundice, cirrhosis, as I put it, which is the building up of the tissues that eventually, you know, destroys the organ. Now, we must understand that alcohol may cause kidney failure, bladder failure, prostate inflammation. All this is created by alcohol. So this we need to understand. The other one, the last one that I want to bring on this one so that my brother can speak, is the skeletal system. Skeletal system, I'm talking about skeleton system, the body. Alcohol abuse inhibits newborn production. You know, what I'm talking about the risk of osteoporosis. Osteoporosis now, this is what I'm talking about, is the function, the making of the new bones into the body. Now, when you take a lot of beer, you know, your bones are not able to produce, you know, more bones so that you are strong. Instead, the bones will be brittle, they will be fragile, they will be weak. And because of this osteoporosis, then you become weak, you cannot walk, you cannot do anything. And then the bone fractures, you just be breaking. You'll be saying, no, it's because of age. It's not age, it is beer that you take. Then the muscles will be weaker and weaker and weaker. You have cramps, and then you've got atrophy. Now, all these are problems which people create for themselves. It is not God, it's not witchcraft, it is you have bewitched yourself because of your appetite for wrong foods. In short, we've seen alcohol being the source of problems in homes. Children can't go to school because father and mother or mother consumed the money. You know, somebody, the fights in the home because of a drunkard state. Sometimes you find that because of alcohol, somebody stops going to for work. He does not go for work. He loses his job, and because he has lost his job, and then the family begin to suffer. Children can't go to school. The other issue is accidents. There are a lot of accidents, both in factories, at home, and on the road, and everywhere because of alcohol. The other one, which is very, very serious, I want to emphasize, there will also be accidents in the bedroom. You don't know, you're not doing anything. You don't know where to start from, where to touch, how to end. You are just useless. In the end, your wife will begin, you know, looking outside to find real men that matter, real men who know how to strike, because you are a bondman. You don't know what to do. So if you want to be a good man, CJ, don't drink. Be a striker and a scholar in your marriage, in your bedroom. I end here. Signing off, Honorable Shaabula, Herbert Shaabula, Evangelist Shaabula.
Evangelist, even women, they drink as well. What do they come in the bedroom?
It is worse. It is worse with them. You know, sometimes I want to respect you, my daughter. I want to respect you. You know, it is worse for a lady. It is a waste. Because when a lady is drunk, the problem starts where she got drunk from. First of all, she will just be falling there, and now she's free for everyone. Everyone is free to sleep with her. They will they will do whatever is others. They will be dancing. Others will be jumping on her. Whatever. All the somersaults of this world. Anyone, she becomes, you know, like a rotten fish. All the flies will go and sit on her just because she failed to take control of.
You ati wakazi wamankala rotten fish, every fly is available for them, or they are available for every fly. But anyway, as much as that, quickly let's get to engage Uncle J into the discussion. Uncle J, what's your take on marriage and alcohol? I think for you mostly, I would like you to get to the fact that how does one deal with a drunkard spouse, be it female or male? How do you deal with this drunkard spouse that maybe daily comes home drunk, or occasionally they come home drunk? How do you deal with such a situation?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to share. Yeah, well, it's very difficult to actually deal with a drunkard spouse because the two cannot reason. And when you are dealing with somebody that you cannot reason with, it becomes extremely difficult to actually find a balance, to strike a balance on how to deal with whatever problem that particular situation presents. So maybe the warning to those that consume alcohol, it should be said in no uncertain terms to say, you cannot mix the two. Unless you are ready to drink responsibly, and I repeat, drink responsibly. Don't get drunk, or maybe don't get excessively drunk. Maybe keep away, because the situation that you cause, and when you are told in the morning, you will be very, very ashamed to actually think that you did whatever it is. I'll give an example of a certain man that in the area where I was growing up, who came home drunk. Apparently, this particular person is the reason why I don't take alcohol myself, because I saw the adverse effect on this particular person's behavior. So let me just narrate briefly what happened. This person came home and was very drunk, but at least he knew where to go. So he went home, and apparently the house is in the the high density where the toilet is outside. So because of the fact that when you've taken alcohol, you urinate a lot. One doctor told me that when you take one bottle, you urinate 3. I'm like, what? So that's really a lot to take from the body when you just took one. So this particular person went to the bathroom to go and relieve himself, and then coming from the toilet, he forgot his house. He went to the neighbor's house. In the sitting room, there was a cupboard, and that is where he just, he threw whatever was on top of that cupboard and slept, because the bedroom was locked. What is very, very sad is the fact that this person was just wearing an underwear. At least he had underwear. And so the owners of that particular, the children in that particular home went and called the nephew to say, hey, come, your uncle is in our house. What is this boy was like, what is my uncle doing in your house? He says, no, he's sleeping, just come. And when this particular person went there, this nephew was ashamed to discover that his uncle was sleeping on top of the cupboard in the neighbor's house in an underwear. So he took it upon himself and dragged his uncle back home. He was about 15 years old. So he was ashamed.
Okay, we seem to have lost Uncle J there. I think this is due to some internet challenges that Uncle J is facing. However, to you, our dear viewer, this evening we are discussing the reloaded of marriage and alcohol. And this evening, of course, we have brought the bright minds, as I would put it like that, or we have brought at least people that can share either an experience or get to counsel at least the would-be drinkers or those that are in a marriage and experiencing this difficulty or this problem. That is in the name of Evangelist Shaabula as well as Uncle J. Now we have shared with you the link. Please come through into the studio. Join us live into the studio. Follow us into the studio. If you have a question, come through and ask your question. Ngati mwe mulina chakumtima chamene mufuna ochosa tijoineni mu studio tisharingeni chija chakumtima, okapena mwina story amene mufuna kutishimikira imwe tijoineni mu studio, shimikani ja story okapena ka experience kamene munaonapo mu chikwati na nkani ya mova. Pano pa platform mwetakambira tina ba Evangelist Shaabula pamozi na ba Uncle J. Now, as we wait for them to come back, Himba, let me take this time to try and get Lawrence's view on what we...
I'm just joking, Lance. I'm just pulling your leg. You can bring in Lawrence.
if you ask of my view, I will tell you that Tima mwera ka pressure.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that one. Lawrence, please come in. I'll pretend I didn't hear that one.
I think that is a very common excuse of Tima mwera ka pressure. I think we've heard that excuse so many times, and I don't know. I don't think there is any person alive who doesn't have any pressures anyway. But others are not drinking while others are drinking. I don't know how others manage to sort out their pressures without resorting to the bottle. Or the same, I think personally, I have seen experiences where alcohol has destroyed homes, and it's not something that we joke about. Just earlier today, I think, having a discussion with someone concerning the increase of the numbers of songs that are seemingly talking about people going back to the bottle instead of relationships and all that. And I think the discussion we're having, we're actually talking about how people do not understand the effects that alcohol has brought in these families, that we seem to be encouraging the abuse of alcohol in some of these songs that we are hearing. Nonetheless, I think one of the worst experiences that I've seen is where someone actually loses everything, the entirety of his home, his family, his job, everything lost because of alcohol abuse. This is where someone is working, very well married with kids and all that, and then somehow drinking all as usual, thinking it's the way I do it, it's my lifestyle, I drink normally like that, and then all of a sudden someone can't seem to live without alcohol. Anytime you meet them, they are drunk. Anytime whatsoever, the time you meet them, they are drunk. Sometimes even smelling of urine. Sometimes even you can tell that someone was sleeping in the mud. And those are experiences. This is something that has happened real life and very relatable. The worst case, things escalate to go to the worst case where the wife decides to leave the home because actually the husband, every time he gets paid, he spends everything on alcohol, and even after spending the whole salary on alcohol, even goes on to borrow more money from others to finance his drinking escapades, and it goes to the worst that he forgets that he has got children he has to take care of, he has got children to send to school, and the wife could not tolerate it anymore and decided to pack off with the children and leave. Then it even gets more interesting that the person even forgets to be reporting for work, only goes for work when they are broke. When they get paid, you won't see them. So probably only report for work in the last week of the month in preparation for the salary. And when the salary comes, the person deserts the work and all that. And this is the government worker we are talking about. And in the end, has to be relieved of his duties and sent packing also from work. So the person, as we are talking right now, is homeless. The person is familyless, doesn't even know where his wife is and his children are, he has no idea, and kind of living in different bars. Every time you meet him, he's drunk, he's still living the same life, and it's something that actually we have to work hard on. And things seem okay when they are starting. Things seem normal at the start, but there is a point where things get out of control, and one does not understand what exactly they are doing. The only thing is they have to hit to the body's demands, where the body is demanding for more drinks and more drinks and more drinks, and one is just following the same, and that is now where things get bad. So to some extent, not to some extent, but to the highest extent, alcohol has destroyed a lot of families out there, and this is something that we have to look at as a country, actually, because there are some sort of regulations that we have to put on when it comes to alcohol. As things stand right now, we seem to have forgotten what exactly alcohol is doing to our families, how much of our friends are suffering at Chinama there because of alcohol abuse. And actually, from the report that I read somewhere, alcohol abuse is one of the leading causes of mental issues being dealt with at Chinama as we speak right now. And most of those are family men with children, with wives, and
Lawrence, please. Thank you for that information. Just hold your thought a little bit. Let us bring in Uncle Jay, because he will soon disappear because of his network. So let us bring him in, and then you can come in.
Okay. All right. You can hear me? Great. So I ended on the fact that this particular boy was the one that was really ashamed of the action of the uncle. The auntie would not do anything because she's just a woman house. Apparently, even if she was going to present something nice to say, no, this is not good, whatever, it is not good at all. The word went round. Your uncle, such a situation, who gets affected? The entire family. The marriage too, if she wanted, that woman would have walked out. She had reason to walk out. Why should I stay in here when my husband has become a public spectacle for everybody because of alcohol? So how do you deal with this particular situation? Again, I repeat, it's very difficult. Unless the person that takes alcohol is ready to settle with you and talk about the issue when they are not drunk. You cannot settle it when they are drunk. Apparently, such people, from my experience growing up, they do not want to talk when they are not drunk. People that take alcohol in excess never really want to talk when they are not drunk. They seem to talk better under the influence of alcohol, which is very, 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 very wrong, because I don't think you can reason properly. The fact that you can lose direction from where you came from afterwards, how do we know that you can even keep that particular thought to the end when you are under the influence of alcohol? So it is difficult.
With very good English.
Sorry?
With very good English.
The way out of the situation like that is that if people don't become, if it is not a miracle, then it has to take somebody to be able to talk to this particular person when they are sober to say, let's find a solution to this particular situation. Because if you get to the excess of using alcohol, you can only be dealt with under rehab, like somebody like Lawrence was talking about, Chainama. And I know that people from Chainama, a good number of them come out from there and they go back straight to the same habit. They are only controlled when they're there. They don't seem to be able to actually grasp the situation themselves and be able to actually match. It's a miracle. We thank God that there are people that have stood behind and have dealt with these particular people. There is one situation that made a man stop drinking. And this is rather crude, but let me just say this. This woman was really troubled by the way that the husband took alcohol. So he went and connived with, I don't know whether this preacher man was actually using this as just a story or a metaphor to actually bring his story to the church. But the story goes that he went and connived with a mortuary attendant to say, please, can we, when my husband is drunk, can we come and lay him here amongst the corpses so that maybe he'll learn a lesson? And so the next time this particular person was drunk, and as it was, he was being wheeled in a wheelbarrow, he was taken straight to the mortuary. There he was laid amongst the corpses. And when I mean, we all know it is in the fridge and it was cold. And so when he came to his senses, he was amongst dead bodies. And so the Marukula, this man said, no, you are dead. You can't wake up. You are dead. He said, no, I'm not dead. You are dead. They wanted to finish him and say, no, what we do with these people, we finish them. And so he said, we're going to give you one last chance. And so when he got out of there, he ran straight back home. And he was the one that was saying to his wife, my wife, I will never, never, never drink again. Because what I experienced today, I don't think I don't want to go through it. The wife was like, what happened? And so he narrated to say, I think they picked me up, they took me to the mortuary. And so I was late, they thought I was dead and whatever. That saved this man. But I don't know how many people can actually relate with such a story. I don't know how many people can change. That was one incident. But the bottom line is, it brings a strain on the family relations when somebody takes alcohol in excess. We can't communicate properly. The financial resources are taken directly somewhere where they're not supposed to. Children will not go to school. How do you learn? Some children, you may not even know, like Evangelist was talking about, because you can't function in the bedroom. You may not even know the paternity of your children, because maybe somebody is performing on your behalf to that. So there are adverse and very, very adverse situations that adverse repercussions that take place because somebody has indulged in excessive alcohol drinking. We're not saying people should not drink, but if they want to drink, let them drink responsibly. Let me stop at that particular point. Maybe somebody has something to add, or maybe a question to ask.
Thank you so much, Uncle Jay, for that. And really, before we get to invite the next person to come in, that is Mr. Ernest. Let's get to go on a very short break. Like this is something that we would like to at least have a laugh about, like on a lighter note. At least let's get to do this, and then when we come back, we get back to the topic of discussion that we are discussing this evening, which is marriage and alcohol. And then after this one, Ernest Mkerebai will be coming through. Producer, please, let's get straight to that clip, and then we'll be back on the other side.
It is a fact that when people drink, they abandon families. It is a fact. It is also a fact that when you men drink, you even fail to perform.
Nangumfule pabandi Milanje batawe yote tichimoneke bwino kubandi Tulaikosele shavi Twalisulwa Ngole fwa kulunda pofyo bepaline nga wangfwa ruma Kale twasebana Bali tule bowling ati tatumfwa fwebo twalisebana Kale twasebana
Whoa, this is, I believe this is what Lawrence was talking about, to say that currently in Zambia, we have many songs that are promoting the drinking of alcohol. Kale Twasebana, done by Dismo. Obviously, there's another one which is done by Vincenzo called Marizons at Moyaweni Mamwera and Mamwera na Marizons. And then also there's something done by the same Vincenzo called Mosalezele. Another one also promoting Nkanyama Hule, something done by Zaven. So Zambia is, on the climax of producing such. And anyway, that was on a lighter note. Womu Kerebai, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Lance. How are you?
I am all right, thank you. How are you?
Very fine, thank you. Good to see you. You were missing in town. Why do I have an echo? Someone, can you switch off the mic?
It's wonderful to see you.
Good to see
it's
you,
wonderful to see you.
Same. The feeling is mutual. Thank you so much for having accorded me this opportunity to say something on the topic, on the subject matter. Well, I would want us to also not completely negate the people themselves that drink. We don't have to stigmatize them. We don't need to put them down, for they have their own reasons to why. There's always a cause. There's always a reason to why people indulge themselves in illicit activities, and that is drinking excessively. Well, in Zambia, we know, like you alluded earlier, Reverend, that when people are happy, they celebrate. And during those celebrations, they actually drink alcohol. And that is okay, it's acceptable. But anything that you partake more than necessary, becomes a danger to your health, including the shima that we eat. If we eat it more than necessary, it becomes a danger. But alcohol, we know for the fact that it is a proven fact that it has a lot of side effects, that if we indulge ourselves in alcohol, we may end up having a lot of complications. Having said that, we should not forget the people. These are our brothers and sisters that have reasons to why, because we don't have a system where we can help people that are either depressed, that are drinking excessively, and we don't, and family members ourselves, mostly family members, we, especially in Zambia, instead of providing the support to our loved ones, we tend to treat them, to give them, to negate them, or stereotype them. That when you drink, we even call them, we even sing about them. We even go out there and talk, gossip about them. And that does not help. It brings, you find the person will continue even when they're on the wrong path, because we always think this is impossible. It can never happen to me. It's like Marilo. It's like Imfa. Chiwamira Punzako. You look at your friend, you say, oh my God, banamwalira mu accident. You think you cannot be also part and parcel of that. You cannot be involved. When it's not on you, it's easy to blame. But when it's on your family member, how would you resolve this? Most of us here, we do negate our family members. We do put them down. Instead of giving them a hand to help, look at their issues that they are facing. Probably most of the people, they are either having some difficulties in terms of helping themselves financially. They must have lost the jobs. They have disappointment. Someone has broken their hearts. They have been dumped. They are not treated well in homes. They are abused. They resort to that little drink that makes them forget about those problems and makes them sleep. And by doing so, you find that yes.
There are two things, sweetheart. There's somebody who's going to drink alcohol, just drinking for leisure, for fun. That is, now we are talking about excessive drinking, because even if we say somebody is going to drink alcohol for them to have a free mind or maybe to relax a bit, they are going to relax and they'll find that problem. And ingabonze tu alenwa mabwalwa, as Ruth once mentioned, that ingatwale nobwalwa to be pressure free. Nish Zambia would have been pressure free the whole country. Ngatuyafe tuayanwa. So me, I strongly yes. Ngabankalipira feka beer. Nganamune fintu tafiendele bwino ka beer. We are talking about excessive beer.
Well, excessive drinking, of course, is not okay. Like I said, from excessively, you may find, but Dr. Mujajati, you heard him saying the very water can actually cause damage to your health. At the same time, Mujajati tell you and me to say water drink water so that you can be healthy. So it's everything that we ingest. If we ingest excessively, can cause damage to our cells or to ourselves, to our body, brain, everything. So I hear you. That's why we are in the mess today that we are in as a country, because we had allowed certain people, individuals that consumed alcohol to be our leaders. I end there.
Okay, thank you so much. But we come back, excessive drinking, alcohol and marriage.
Oh, nazinaivala nkani ya chikwati. Muchikwati mweve Vadala has mentioned, especially the speaker from Uganda.
Yeah.
Well, I was even impressed that a speaker from a regime that is under, somebody who we question could come out like that. That was amazing. But it is true. Alcohol can cause a lot of stress in a marriage or in any relationship, especially when it comes to communication, because nobody would want to communicate to you about how to run your life or your home when you are under the influence. Your mind is intoxicated. It's the same as driving a car. That's why we are not allowed to drive and drinking and drive. You can't just perform any normal duties or any normal given activity when you are under the influence of alcohol. Alcohol can lead to has a lot of disadvantages and dangers, and can cause a lot of family division and stress and depression.
Thank you so much,
Patrick.
Keleva, will get back to you. Now we are saying Moba, like now, Moba na Chikwati sivi endelana. I think we've said so, and we've all agreed that
no, sweetheart, viendelana somehow romantically, kawaii ni vija, Jesus, remember.
Sweetheart, we are talking about excessive. Now,
we haven't all agreed.
Now, like let me borrow from Uncle J and Shaabula. Shaabula said, "Wamwa tibabiri waindo tunda pa bedi." All romances zange nekabwanji pa bed pena tunda. Romances zange nekabwanji pa bed pena shita vintu. Tizashita bwanji romance. Zange la romance ya bwanji. Olo nakole wanaende kwela pa table pa jape bambo bando pakapa bakoje. Izanga la bwanji romance jakta ina mnyumba mwabe ni pakapa.
We should cover Shaabula when there is trouble of that kind. I think she will be the best counselor.
Over to you, Shaabula. Ati romance, acha ina kabula romance, ati peka mawama kaseti. Manje nafunza. Evangelist Shaabula, you've heard me. I've done things nakutundira. Akufunika na daipa. Ati romance ndiye pe mawama. Naenda nakwera pa tembo pali baneba. Ati ndiye pe iza wa romance na bana batamba.
No. Any romance which is you see, okay, let me talk about drugs, because alcohol is a drug actually. What is a drug? Anything that alters your normal functioning of the body, it is actually a drug. It alters, it changes. You start behaving differently. It makes you different. You are not the same person. So I think you are normal. She is normal. You know what you are doing. You are planning. You are talking. You are doing what you are doing. That one is better, because if you are doing it under the influence of alcohol, ati nimweko pangono monga mina kambira bajamini bali pakati ago simfuna wakambazina at let me have a beat so that I can be high, so that I can fire more. No. You are not yourself. You are firing not because you are a man. you are firing because you are sick. It is a sickness now that is actually producing whatever is producing. If you're a real man, be yourself.
So there's also a probability that if you're not under the influence, because firing on my empty bullets, but it's but then we are told that when it's kawaii Nsaka red wine kama balance vintu vima balance ubwino Uncle J
boosting one glass but doctor but one glass. So in the
that is called, listen, that is an addiction. Now, what is an addiction? An addiction is not that you should be taking it in large quantities and for a long time and whatever. No, as long as it steps up your desire and your activity or your action, it means that that is now an addiction. Be yourself. If you are a man, be yourself. Come, I'll teach you, Mukelebai, to be yourself.
Uncle Jay, what is your reaction?
There's your lesson for you, Mr. Mukelebai. I don't know about the fact that red wine boosts whatever. I'm really a novice in that particular area because I don't consume alcohol, and
it's actually it's a scientific proof fact.
Yes, it's scientifically proven.
All right, okay. I have not participated in that particular experiment, so I cannot.
I'll bring a glass for you.
But if you are going to talk about alcohol and marriage, we better qualify it. Does it help? What are the adverse effects? What are the benefits? Apart from the fact that in most of the drugs that we take, even medicinal drugs, there is a percentage of alcohol. And we are also told that you must not take it in excess. So when you are actually deliberately taking alcohol in excess, then you are not helping
absolutely
yourself, because you are abusing yourself actually as much as you're abusing the drink itself. So you really must be careful what you take into your system. Just like Mr. Mukelebai said, too much of anything is bad. If what you're taking too much of anything is not helping you to communicate properly to the family, it is bad. If what you're taking is not helping you to be productive, either by producing children or producing dependable, reliable work at the workplace, it is bad. So personally, I'm not saying people should not drink. I don't want to stigmatize people that drink. I want to be able to say, if alcohol is a beverage like anyone else, let's learn not to consume it in excess. I lived in a house where there was all this particular alcohol around. The owners left me to look after that particular house for 5 weeks. And the girl comes in that particular place. And I didn't know, that every time she went to the fridge, she added some vodka or whatever whiskey. I didn't know. I didn't even know. I don't know the difference between vodka and alcohol and brandy and vodka or whatever. I didn't know. She added that. But at the end of the day, I noticed that she was even failing to stand up to walk. I'm like, what is the problem? You've been taking, as far as I know, you've just been taking orange juice. How come you are tantarikaling now, yet we are all taking orange juice? Little did I time she added something else in that particular juice. So whatever it is that you are taking, if you take it in excess, it becomes bad to your body. If you take too much Coca-Cola, there's a lot of sugar in that particular situation. Eventually, you suffer from diabetes. And so we must be careful what we take and be very careful that it will not affect my body, it will not affect the relationship.
Uncle Jeb.
Yes.
Point of correction. Our topic today is on alcohol, not Coca-Cola. No. Let's leave Coca-Cola out of this issue, please.
No. I was bringing that because Mukelebai said, and I quote, even
let me help.
in water. Too much.
Let me help Uncle Jay.
We can talk
Let
about
me
what
help Uncle Jay.
Coca-Cola, no.
Let me help Uncle Jay.
Yes, please.
Uncle Jay is right.
Thank you.
Uncle Jay is right. I'm saying Uncle Jay is right by actually grouping Coca-Cola into alcohol group. He's right. Because Coca-Cola was actually invented in 1886 by John Peterdon in Atlanta, Georgia. And the first thing that was there, what was in the Coca-Cola, was actually cocaine, caffeine. These are the two great ingredients which were there. Even up to now, in Coca-Cola, there is caffeine. And caffeine is in the group of the ethanol, which is alcohol. So the whole issue is that even alcohol, even Coca-Cola itself has got the same, causes the same symptoms and effect. So he's actually right.
Muzata bisa Christians bareke kunywa Coca-Cola. Please, muzatonongera business.
Even Coca-Cola is an alcohol.
A nice mixer, you know.
Okay.
We're actually saying people should drink it responsibly.
We said people should drink responsibly. I'm not going to mention the other beverage. I'm going to mention alcohol. The other one, I'm not going to mention it. So I'm going to say, now, let us look at this alcohol, how it traumatizes. We are saying excessive alcohol drinking. People can drink a bit, but we are saying, how does it affect especially the children in that house? Because we've already talked about, we've said, some side effects. Sometimes the mother will insult the father, there's loss of respect, people, they fight each other, children are neglected. More especially, it's a woman. I'm sure most of our talk has been about, I'd say 80% has been on male, but even women, they fail to look after their children. They lose respect, the communication towards the husband. They've got girl child who is growing and who's going to grow up that when you're talking, you have to scream, you have to shout. So how does it affect such an environment for upbringing of the children? Lawrence, then we'll go to Evangelist, then Evangelist Keleba. Lawrence, over to you. How does it affect and how can we avoid that? We look out for the interest of the children in that house.
Okay. Earlier on, I narrated exactly how I've seen alcohol destroy families and all that. But if we zero in on the effects that it brings on the entire family, actually, more especially the children, I think there is tendency by the drinking parent or parents to forget their responsibilities towards the children and the home at large. In most cases, I think I've come to learn that people who drink are actually the most generous people when it comes to buying alcohol for their fellow, for their other drinking mates, I should say. People at the bar tend to buy for each other beer, and I think I know a lot of people who would say they can go to the bar with 0 kwacha and to come back drunk. Well, I don't know, it's good or bad, I don't know, but what the end result is that someone will become so generous at the bar that even the money they're supposed to use for the betterment of their families is used at drinks, so that they look good in the eyes of their friends and they maintain a good rapport, so that next time, even if the buyer himself doesn't have money next time, people should be able to buy for him because he also does the same. So the resources that we have actually tend to be utilized in wrong places and in wrong areas, leaving the vital needs of the resources wanting actually. Also, we've seen people forgetting to take care of their families when it comes to women. The husband leaves the money for them to buy relish and things like that, but they try to save as much as possible to fund their drinking escapades, which now leaves little or no food at all in the house because beer becomes a priority. For women as well, I think, as earlier alluded to by the evangelist, we've seen situations where women who drink actually become so loose that when drunk, they don't even know where they wake up from. I think there is one lady that I knew some time back who would always complain to say, I don't know, I should say it. I have to stop drinking because every time I'm drunk, I don't even know people who take me and where I wake up from. Now, if a lady reaches those ends, I think we all know reputation goes down. We all know there's high risk of HIV and AIDS. There's high risk of unplanned pregnancies. There is all sorts of risks that come with that, and all those things are associated with beer drinking. I've also seen at college level, youth level, actually, people who are being kept in homes lose respect for their elders, for their parents, for their guardians, because somehow beer makes them think as if they own the world, and yet they are actually completely nothing because they are still being kept, they are still dependents and all that. So all those are social negatives that beer drinking, actually excessive beer drinking, I should emphasize, come with. We've seen people use money meant for school fees, meant for accommodation fees in school, and all that being utilized in the drinking because there are people beer is being abused. More or less, more drugs of various sorts can also find themselves in the company, because from what we know, from what researchers said, most of these drugs that are actually narcotics also go along with people who drink in most cases. So we also see the risk of drug abuse coming in because of beer abuse. Also, like as alluded to, unplanned pregnancies, unplanned movements, all sorts of things come along with beer drinking. I think someone else can add up to that list. I rest my case.
Go, Evangelist, go in. Dive in.
Yes, thank you, Wamkerebai and Himba and everyone there. Some time back, I witnessed the two incidences. The first one is whereby a certain lady went to sleep over or sleep on the baby just because she drank so much. So after coming from drinking, she went to sleep and then slept on the baby, and the baby was killed. That was the result of beer drinking. And the other issue that I handled was of a certain family where husband and wife came from beer drinking, and they did not close the door to the bedroom, and they went on the bed and they tried to perform miracles. But in the process, they all slept and the door was not closed. And when we went there visiting, what we found, these small houses in Chilenje, those small houses there, all we saw was a person just, people that slept without closing the door. And the reason was because they had drunk. They were drunk. I've been an employer for many, many years. And what happens in most cases is that a lot of people have lost jobs because of absenteeism. So in other words, alcohol increases absenteeism in main lives of people. People fail to go for work because of beer, because of drinking alcohol. And I've also seen what we call industrial accidents caused by drunkard workers. You find that somebody loses his hand or his leg or sometimes his entire life because the person was operating a machine under the influence of drugs or alcohol. So the other issue is the problem of just too much debts, Congole. A person will get money from various people just to finance his drinking habits. So by so doing, the family suffers, is not able to meet family needs, can't pay for electricity, can't pay for water, can't pay for rentals, can't pay for school fees, there's no food, there's no money, not even medical fees that can be paid for because somebody drank all the money. And because of these debts, people come and grab whatever is at home, leaving the home in a desolate situation. Sometimes you find that those children who come from homes where people drink, they've also learned how to drink. I mean, the taste of beer, they know what it is. So in other words, the children are taking over because they've been taught. They've been tutored by father and the drinking mother. So at the age of maybe 9 years, 10 years, the children are already drunkards. They will begin stealing money to go and buy beers. By so doing, they will even stop going to school because they cannot save both the school and beer and alcohol. So all these are some of the problems. And because of that, these children, they will begin stealing. They will start stealing from their home, then from their neighbors, then from shops. Then they will start now getting into aggravated, robberies so that they can finance their drinking habits. So all these are some of the problems. The other one is actually, not even learning. They will stop going to school because they can't continue going to school and drinking. So they would rather they stop that. The other issue which we've already discussed is accidents for those that drive. If they've got a car or they drive, in most cases they'll be involved in accidents, road traffic accidents. Sometimes a fatal road accident. Sometimes they'll do just injure other people or kill other people or damage their own property, the car, or damage their own houses and hit into the wall of their house or just the house. So all these are some of the problems that are there. And also the health problems that I've talked about. You suffer from cirrhosis, you suffer from, memory, you can't think properly, then you are affected, you have Parkinson's disease, you start shaking, you can't work until you have something to drink. And if there's no beer or no alcohol, you can't work. Now the question, if you're a father, how do you sustain your family? Then what happens with the employers? Your employers will kick you out. And when you lose your job, it means the whole family will suffer. Now, the question is it right for anybody to drink? I would miss my opportunity as an evangelist without quoting from the Bible. If you read the Proverbs chapter 20, reading from verse 1, the Bible says, he that drinks is not wise. He that takes beer is not wise. Now, the other word for not wise is foolish. So in other words, it is foolishness to take beer and put it in your mouth. Others, they want to justify it by saying excessive. Like somebody on the left side is saying, excessive. Because you have to take it excessive. No. How much is normal? How do you measure normal drink? How much is normal? How much is less? Because what I know from the school that I went to and my physics and biology teacher, he told me that each body has got its own resistance. Each brain, it has got its own resistance. What affects Mukelebai may not affect me. My alcohol content, I mean, what consumption which I take, sometimes I may take 5 bottles of 8% alcohol, 8% alcohol, 5 bottles. Especially being roses. The roses, they can take even the whole crate alone. He'll still be himself. But give a Tonga just 4 bottles at 8%, he's finished. So now, for anybody to say moderate, how much is moderate? So that is why we should
protest naked.
Go. So I want Kerebai to come and teach me what moderation is, what moderate is, and what is not excessive. And vis-a-vis my brain that may not be able to contain his. The roses, they take more. So can somebody help me? So that is why for me I say, let's leave the alcohol alone, because we don't know how alcohol will react in our bodies and cause us to misbehave. Thank you.
Evangelist, thank you so much. At least I've heard you. Over to you, Lawrence. Lawrence, we are closing.
Lawrence has already spoken.
Okay, then I'll come to you, Mukelebai.
Yes, I'm just I'm not gonna be long because I'm looking at time.
Thank you.
Yes, what I can only say is that your earlier question was in relation to parents that drinks and in connection with the children.
Yeah.
How are children taking it? How are they involved? Actually, children act like a sponge. They suck every negative energy out there. They just copy every little detail that goes on in parents. And some of the parents have become so selfish that they forget about their children and decide to go for a bottle. And that itself, it's endangerment of their children's lives. And once in developed countries, once they see you or once you are observed being a person that is under the influence all the time or takes excessively alcohol or drugs, you may actually lose your children. The authorities may come and get them away from you because you are creating unstable environment for your children. As we drink, parents out there, please, let's mind that this is the only time we need to bond with our children. We should not bond with our children whilst under the influence, because what we are showing them, it's exactly what they are going to end up tomorrow because they see and they'll try to do the same to emulate, because we as parents, we are their role models. So they want to follow. So if we go out there drunk, definitely we will simply destroy this fiber that we have with our children. So it is imperative that we either cut down on alcohol intake, not completely, like what Evangelist said, If you drink,
thank you so much.
drink moderately, not to stop completely. But on a business. Patrick.
Completely might be advisable.
Yeah, but you see that people that are even sober, they are the worst, who are busy damaging children as well.
Uncle Jay, over to you. Uncle Jay, your closing remarks.
Okay, all right. One of the adverse effects really on the children is that they will not listen to your advice. I can't imagine a child following the parents' advice saying, do not drink, when they themselves are drunk, when they themselves drink. They'll simply say, but why shouldn't I when you do? It's the same like do not eat chima when I am myself consuming it. So if we want to our children to grow up responsibly, whatever it is that we think is bad in them, we should not do, because they learn better by imitation. We should live by example. There is no way you're going to actually say, do as I say, but not as I do. It doesn't work that way. As far as children are concerned, they will learn better when they see you do what you say they should not do. So if you want your children to keep away from alcohol, like the evangelist said, I agree, keep away from it. If you want to drink, well, drink responsibly and don't come parading yourself before your children and disgrace yourself. They will lose respect. They will not listen to whatever you say. But that's seven you all be singing the song Kale Twa Seven. We shouldn't be bunched up in that particular team because seven as a result of alcohol. We have not indulged in alcohol, so Tatwa Seven, unless we're saying we have been sevened by other activities. But if that is alcohol, we should be careful that we're going to be talking about the fact that we lead by example to our children. Thank you.
Well,
thank you so much.
Please go ahead, Himba.
Well, thank you so much, Uncle Jay. Lance, I'm going to ask Lawrence, and then after Lawrence, I'll come in. Then you are going to wrap up for us and read the questions as we end the program. Lawrence, over to you.
I think in closing, it's just a plea to everybody out there to know what is good for us and what is bad for us. It is very important that some of the examples we are seeing in society, we take them and avoid following in the traps that people have fallen into for the betterment of ourselves, for the betterment of our families. I say this because I think all of us, even people who drink, will tell you that beer is bad, alcohol is bad, and they will tell you as a story. End of the day, they will be the ones looking where to buy them. But what I'm trying to say is, it's very important that we work towards building ourselves, work towards building our families and raising our children as much as possible, and like spending so much time in cabins and bars and taverns with so let us put our families first. I think men out there take this as serious advice. Make sure you put your family first, bond with your children, bond with your wives, spend time with them, and like spending time with people who are drunk at Shabins. I think I end there.
Well, thank you so much, Lawrence. And of course, in ending the program, I think I would also say, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to drink responsibly. As Mukenebai has said, let's not look down on people that drink, because there are many reasons or different reasons why people drink. So therefore, let's drink responsibly. And peoza kuti apa ndiye peniperera ine, please pera osapitiriza, chifukwa kupitiriza ndiye msebanya wamene muleta mubanja or kapena mu family. And of course, this has been another exciting reloaded edition of Ubuntu's Nsaka marriage and alcohol program. We really appreciate that you've been a part of the program, Abia, as well as Caroline, and everybody that came through via messaging, leaving a comment, sharing this particular broadcast, and not forgetting liking it both on YouTube as well as Facebook. We appreciate you. We say thank you, because without you, we are nothing. And we implore you that do not only keep the information that you have learned from here to yourself, but spread it to everybody so that we all get to move in one accord and learn one thing. Thank you so much to everybody, including my panelists that consisted of the coming back of Evangelist Shaabula, as well as also Aunty, and not forgetting my consistent father, that is Ernest Mukerebai. Lawrence, you've been great, as well as also Himba, my co-host, you've been excessively great. Really appreciate. Not forgetting a big thank you to the entire production crew, as well as our IT department. We say good evening, stay blessed, and catch up with us tomorrow as we bring to you another exciting edition of another program, which is Ubuntu Force. Good evening.
Clancy B.